A number of our colleagues wanted to lecture you, Administrator Regan, about the role of agencies, which are, of course, indispensable in implementing the will of Congress. That's why Congress set up the EPA. That's why Congress set up the National Labor Relations Board. That's why Congress set up the Department of Justice. And our colleagues have no problem using those agencies to get the things done they want to do. If you read their Project 2025, they want the President of the United States to be able to use the Department of Justice for the first time in American history to go after his political opponents. And to oh, well, if you disagree with that, then I'm delighted to hear it, Mr. Chairman.
Which Department of Justice going after political opponents? The Merrick Garland Department of Justice or the next Department?
There's a case right now against the Democratic senator from New Jersey, Mr. Menendez. There's a case right now against a Democratic congressman from Texas.
I see a pattern with Democrats.
And well, wait a second. No, don't be too clever. You're a smart man, but try to follow a principled argument. You just claimed that the Department of Justice was somehow biased against Republicans. And I'm naming you cases where the DOJ is going after Democrats. Your problem is the jury system in New York, which found unanimously that Donald Trump was guilty of 34 criminal felonies. That's got nothing to do with the Department of Justice.
Well, when the Department of Justice sends the number 3 guy down there to prosecute the case on behalf of the...
Which case are you referring to?
The Trump case that you just referred to.
You're talking about the one, the District Attorney Bragg's case in New York?
The number 3 guy went down to
okay.
New York.
All right, well, we'll have to take that up at another point, but I'm talking to you about what former President Trump says he wants to do. And if you think it's outrageous, then I am delighted to hear it, that he would use the Department of Justice.
No, I just thought it was outrageous you saying the Department of Justice under Trump was going to be weaponized when we believe that this Department of Justice has been pretty darn weaponized.
Well, what is the proof of that? I just named you 3 cases where the Department of Justice is going after Democrats. And I mean, that's a very serious slur against the Department of Justice and the Attorney General.
I stand by that.
You stand by your slur then. Well, I would love us to have a complete hearing then on whether or not it's true, because I think it's wrong. And in fact, really it's just setting the stage for Donald Trump to try to use the Department of Justice as an instrument of persecution against his political opponents, real or imagined.
Well, we don't know if Donald Trump's going to be president or not. Are you throwing in the towel, Mr. Raskin?
No. I certainly hope he doesn't try to steal the election the way he did last time. And I hope we'll be prepared this time.
So you're an election denier, Mr. Raskin.
Oh, no. I don't deny it. I affirm that Joe Biden beat him by more than 7 million votes, 306 to 232 in the Electoral College. We know that happened. And yet, I hope you're not an insurrection denier, because you were there with me that day when they came in chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." Do you remember that?
I remember January the 6th.
You remember them chanting, "Hang Mike Pence"? Them trying to overthrow the election?
Unlike you, I have never not voted to certify an election.
I'm sorry?
Didn't you vote to not certify the 2016 election?
The 2016 election, I simply spoke against irregularities. I didn't try to overthrow the government of the United States. I didn't try to get the vice president not to do his job, and I didn't even go to a senator. But
I've always voted to certify elections. I just want to state that for the record.
So, okay, so then you would agree then that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election?
I voted to certify the election. I've said that a million times. When the 50 states...
Did you say once that Donald Trump lost the election?
I have said that. When the 50 states certified the election was over. Now, we've gone over. Do you want to conclude? Let's get off of this. Good EPA.
I don't mind the diversion, Mr. Chairman.
If you look at what Mr. Burleson and I mentioned with respect to wastewater with meat processing plants, our processors and our farmers tell us this is going to have a significant impact on the cost of food. And we're talking about chicken McNuggets at McDonald's. We're talking about chicken at Chick-fil-A and things like that. The average working class Americans go through the drive-through after work and
Mr. Chairman, forgive me, do you know what the cost of 10-piece chicken McNuggets is today?
Well, I buy a lot of chicken nugget meals.
It's under $5. It's $4.49 at the closest one you can get here. I mean, and Impossible Nuggets are even less.
So there's no inflation at McDonald's, Mr. Raskin. I would say I spend more money at McDonald's than any person in Congress, and I'll stand by that. I'll testify under oath.
Well,
my 3 kids.
Well, we certainly don't mean to bankrupt you with our environmental regulations when you go to McDonald's.